Yeah, that'd be beautiful. Like, I'm not really scared this time, but I just like have a lot of energy now.
It's just because we got one shot, until I kind of
Yeah.
yeah. Exactly.
All right.
So you can just flip back charts, you can just like.
Yeah, I guess everyone's quiet.
I love your guys' presentation on the void of space.
Yeah, I'll just have to talk up, I guess. Okay, so before we start, I just want everyone to like reflect back. Alright, before we start our presentation, I just want everyone to reflect back on like when they were in kindergarten, you know, what they were doing, what you were like, what you were thinking. Because, you know, we've been reflecting on kindergarten. And as we were reflecting, we decided to take a look at some pictures of us from the past. Oh, it's the down button. Okay. Here we have Ashley, and she's playing with a cute little pooch, a cute little puppy. There's Chole casting magic spells on her favorite baby doll. There's Logan in front of a hot air balloon. There's Chole harvesting. There's Magic harvesting radishes. And then there's me.
Okay, so WAKID stands for Washington Kindergarten Inventory of Developing Skills, and there are 3 parts to WAKID: family connection, whole child assessments, and early learning collaboration. Whole child assessments are the assessments that the teacher does on all of their students in the beginning of the school year. Family connection is when the teacher gets to talk to the parents of their students, which is very beneficial for both the parents and the teacher. And early learning collaboration is when the kindergarten teachers get to talk to preschool teachers about how to better prepare preschoolers for kindergarten.
A paraprofessional is an educational worker who is not licensed to teach, but helps with many classroom tasks. Parents have been taken away from Washington State due to the money that it costs to pay for them. Teachers must do individual tests on the students during playtime, since that's when the majority of the students are distracted. This can cause skewed answers, since the children just want to finish the testing as quickly as possible so they can go back to the 45-minute daily allotted playtime. Parents dramatically assisted teachers before WAKID, and now without them, the stress put on the teachers is intense, and the incorrect answers from the students are clear. Without specific variables, those students' data will be false. This shows how helpful pairs were for the teachers. Without them, the stress put on the teachers to collect all the data individually and input all of it into the system for each student is an unrealistic standard set by the state. So, is there a solution to reduce the teacher stress and also assist in a more realistic answers for the students while not charging the state immense bills?
Often, like Chloe said, the children are taken during their allotted playtime, thus leading to skewed answers as they do try to finish as quickly as possible, often to go back to playing with their friends or to go back to playing. Often this is seen throughout the whole year, as the teacher only has a certain amount of time to be able to test the kids, as they only have, as this is the only time where the majority of the children are distracted. Not only that, this also often leads to misinterpret data, as children can be situationally misgraded, as you can have a child who's repeatedly polite and calm, but if they were to have a bad day, then it would go on the record and make them seem immature. Often this leads to more skewed data, as they do not get the proper recordings of the data. And not only that, but as stated by Harrington, often we see the beginnings of child perfectionism early in kindergarten, as there are often times where kids try and give answers that they think the teachers would want to hear. This often leads to more skewed data and makes the data incorrect and very unreliable.
As stated by my colleague, the same effects that can skew answers can also affect the children and the students, can also affect the children and the teachers emotionally. One of the principal ways that walk-ins affects the students is the ability for them to form bonds with their teachers. According to this long title study from 2016, basically it's about the effects of student-teacher relationships on adolescent problems and pro-social behavior. And it states that relationships with teachers or other adults in school are the strongest predictors of emotional well-being. With children in school-based relationships is even more important than familial support. Now, to dissect this, I want you guys to imagine that you're in kindergarten, like a 5-year-old in kindergarten. You're alone. You basically been dropped off at a new location by your parents, and you have no idea where you are, and you don't know anyone, and the only adults that are there, instead of like trying to bond with you, are asking you meaningless questions like, can you count to 100? Can you write your name? Stuff like that. It's like really stressful for kids, and it really impacts their ability to form bonds with their teachers. Now, this study should be taken with a grain of salt, as it's hard to find academic sources on such a recent initiative, but this can give you some insight as to like how important these bonds are. Another issue with blockades is that it can like fester perfectionism in students, as stated by Magic. Instead of assessing children with a checkbox format where students can be checked off when they hit standards, students are assessed on the scale, meaning they have to answer questions until they get a question wrong. So even if a child is like well above average, because they got that question wrong, it can make them feel like they're not good enough, or they're not smart. Another emotional effect of blockades is the effect it has on the teachers. It stresses them out since they have to multitask, especially now that parents have been taken away.
If we bring back paras, that would reduce the stress on teachers because the teachers have to test each child 31 times before October 31st. And that would also allow them to, or if we bring back paras, that would allow teachers to teach more than the occasional lesson. Paras are expensive, yes. In fact, a para in Washington average salary is $19.06 per hour, which is 28% higher than the national average. With walk-ins coming into place, Washington has had to get rid of para-educators for budgeting reasons.
Our solution, you might ask? Our solution is to have parent volunteers pay to take a summer course to become APA. We would perform a background test on all of them. Also, they would work the same as paras during the school year and have weekly meetings with the teachers to help know what they need to assist with.
Along with parent volunteers, there could also be high school student volunteers. They would also have to go through the summer training, but they wouldn't have to pay for it. And they could do this as like an elective class or as like before school, because elementary school starts earlier than high school, and it would give them the experience of working with young kids to see if they would want that as a potential job, and it would be a good thing to put on a resume or a college application as community service.
In all, our solution is to have TAs, teacher assistants. They would be parents or students that volunteer to be a TA. They would need training to be a TA, of course. The training would happen over the summer, and it would cost parents about $10 per parent or adult. And for students, it would cost little to nothing because they're underage and might not have a job. As a student, they would be able to put the TA like work or job in as volunteer work for an application for colleges or for a job. Woo. Oh wait, then you guys have to ask questions. Right. Okay.
Do we record that?
Yeah, might as well.
Awesome.
So Describe how the content of your team presentation was changed as a result of group discussion.
Huh? Sorry, can you repeat it? My bad.
Describe how the content of the team presentation was changed as a result of group discussion.
Well, I had to reformat it so it looked like nice, and then we decided on using my color scheme. And they reformatted, mine reformatted to fit the color scheme, and then we're also working on changing the slide to where it like goes over the talking points as we say them.
And then one more question is needed, but any others if you want.
Because you have to ask like 2 or something.
Yeah, I think so too.
I guess I'll go again.
Austin.
In the future, what change would you make to your group norms, and how would you expect that to improve the team presentation?
I think our group homes are actually pretty good. Like we were on task the majority of the time. I feel like sometimes if we had a more set schedule for what we needed to do each day, we could have gotten like more information, I guess. But like for the majority part, I think we did pretty well on like keeping on task.
And I think we should like share more things with each other.
Yeah, like
So then we can like check up on how
Where
much
we are.
everybody has done.
And get more knowledge overall for each person.